Welcome back, everyone, to this week's Priestess Rise Up transmission. I'm so delighted to spend this time with you, whether you're here live or watching the replay. This is for you, for those of you who know that you are here to channel miracles, to create a legacy of love, to be a beacon of light, to radiate unconditional love, right? All of these things that can sound so lofty and perhaps even impossible, if you're here, you have a prayer, you've had a prayer in your heart to be part of the solution, right? To be one of the midwives that is bringing our dear planet, planet Earth, to this next level of ascension and awakening. And so every week we gather together, Namaste, Roxana, to remember our divine mission, to resource ourselves, right? To connect with your own beautiful heart and your own soul, and to receive guidance. And also to remember that you're not alone, that there are women and men and, whatever gender you identify or no gender you identify around the world that are answering this same calling. Hello, Jojo. So good to see you. And so today we're going to talk about self belief, right? Last week I did a whole we did a whole meditation about your spiritual practice, up leveling it for this year, and what was your word of the year. And I loved hearing the words that came to you: listen, stillness, shine, radiate, hope, a receptivity. There were so many beautiful words. And in fact, if you're here and you didn't share your word and you want to share your word for 2023 with me, please write it in the chat or write it in the comments. Even if I don't get to respond, please know that it means a lot to me. And I shared that my word is irresistible. That was the word that Mother Mary gave me, right? And I'm still, hello, Romana. I'm still uncovering the full extent of that. And so when we talk about belief, this is really connected to your legacy of love. What does legacy mean? Right? Legacy, and I looked it up in the dictionary, like, how do they define legacy? Hi, Jill. Legacy is the long lasting impact you create in the world. Okay. So when we're here in this container, when you answer this call, you have already been creating your legacy, your long lasting impact of love, not just in this lifetime, but many lifetimes, because that's part of part of the conversation, right? Is that it's not just this lifetime, there's past lifetimes, there's parallel lives. I'm not going to go too into that, but I want you to just comprehend the enormity of all of the love you've already put out in the world. Because what happens with this, what I find with my clients and students, and I felt this as well, when we have such a deep prayer to be of service. Hi, Claire. There can be a voice inside of us. It's always like, oh, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. I'm supposed to do more. What am I supposed to do? We can really spiral and indulge in confusion around what's my sacred mission, right? And I'm not making fun of that. I can totally go there, but I want to unpack this a little bit so you know that, first of all, you've already been creating your legacy of love. And our ego looks at it one way, but your soul looks at it a whole different way. And as you may know, my clients are predominantly women, but you're men, you're all welcome here. And uh, who are called to service, who are wellness professionals, who are coaches, who are therapists, who are healers, who are medicine women, medicine men, shamans, whatever you call yourself, who are very interested in creating their legacy of love through their career. Now, that doesn't mean you're not creating it through other means. You absolutely are. And it all overlaps, but it's through your creativity, your creative expression, through the work you do in the world. And remember what I said in the beginning, your legacy is the long lasting impact. So that when we transition from this world, either we graduate from Earth School and move on to other realms, or we decide to come back, in another lifetime, that we look back on our life and we can see, right, all the love that we've put out in the world, all the ways that we said yes to our soul's guidance on that, all the courage, all the vulnerability, all the stretching. It's a very noble thing to do. And although your ego, right, our egoic structure can judge ourselves and be like, well, I haven't done enough. I should be doing more. That never comes from your soul. And at the same time, your soul has a high bar, right? Your soul has like a high bar of like, this is what you came here to create. And so if we just look at 2023, you're here to add to your already existing legacy of love. And it's very easy to just go on automatic. Well, okay, this is how I help. This is how I support. This is how I'm in service, right? But your soul's always guiding you to up level, right? The next refinement. And so one of the things that's the most essential on this journey is your self-belief, is your belief in yourself. Because this creating of our legacy of love is really hampered when we have damaged self-belief. And I want to really be clear here that that is normal. It is absolutely normal that we have wounds to our self belief because this is the earth school and we've all experienced lots of challenging things. Some of us have experienced trauma, abuse, loss, all the things. So, of course, our own belief in ourselves is going to be often lacking. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something to know and recognize. And so, what does this true belief in yourself mean? It means quite simply that you see yourself as your soul sees you. So, really take that in. Now, if you're new to my channel or new to my teachings, I just want to be clear. When I talk about the soul, some other people might say higher self, true essence, whatever word is fine. But I'm speaking of that divinity within you that is your truth. That part of you, your soul, your essence, looks at you with unconditional love and has the utmost belief in you and your capabilities. So when we are committed to creating our legacy of love to the extent that we said, what we are committing to is having a disciplined practice of believing in ourselves the way our soul believes in us. And so, what does that look like as a practice? So, first of all, it's important to remind ourselves what is belief? Belief is just a thought that you think over and over and over and over. So, if you have had experiences in your life, in this or other lifetimes, where the belief, the thought is, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, and it's just playing in the background. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to do a YouTube live. I'm not good enough to share my medicine right now. I'm not good enough to guide others. I'm not good enough to whatever. Right. So that's a belief. Right. Or maybe the belief can be, I'm not ready. 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 And it's just like a thought over and over and over. And again, there's no shame in this. We all have some version of these things. Right. Or it could be that, there's no, people aren't ready for me. Maybe that's a belief. And so it's really important always, but as we're starting the year, right, as we're setting this foundation, to get clear, to get, as one of my teachers says, very sober, not sober of drugs and alcohol, it's a whole other conversation, but sober mental sobriety, right? To hold a magnifying glass to our brain very lovingly. Not like, oh, let me look at my brain. Ew, oh my gosh, I can't believe I think those things. No, very lovingly. Of course, there's those thoughts. I'm a human. Yes, I'm a divine being, but I'm a human. And I've live in a traumatic world because it really is. Right. So getting clear on like, what are those beliefs right now in this moment, hello, Jessica, that are blocking this next level of your legacy of love. Maybe they're not fully blocking, maybe they're just limiting it, maybe they're creating some constriction. But that's what's important to look at. And so when we do today's meditation, that's going to be the question is like, okay, what are those beliefs? That's the first step is like uncovering them. And if you've been doing this type of work, and I know some of you have, been doing this work with me for some time, you might be very familiar, like, oh yeah, I kind of worked on the I'm not good enough a lot. I've worked on that, right? It's so much better. But maybe there's another belief, another belief that's really strong, that's there. Creating my legacy of love is going to require a lot of hard work and sacrifice, and I have to be a martyr, or I have to be perfect. I can't create my legacy of love until I quit smoking, or my house is all together, or my kids are older, or whatever things we tell ourselves. And so that is really important, right? It's like, oh, what is it? What is that one belief that is keeping us stuck and spiraling? Because this is the thing about our beliefs. They create not only our reality, they create the world. So when you're here to create a legacy of love, to create a new paradigm of unity consciousness, of compassion, of love, of joy, it happens one thought at a time. We think it happens through our actions, but you can take a whole bunch of actions. And if your thoughts are not aligned with your soul, those actions are not going to really create transformation, the transformation this world needs. And so all of this is, really part of what I'll be talking about in next week's New Year retreat that I'm teaching, that I'm leading next Friday, because it's the foundation of everything. When we start the year, there can be parts that are like, okay, what are going to be my action steps? What are my goals? What are my intentions? Da, 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 all that stuff. But if our thoughts are not aligned, and if we don't have a practice, because it requires practice, it's not like, let's say, I'll just keep going with the, I'm not good enough belief. Let's say you uncover, wow, I really have that belief that I'm not good enough to be a priestess. I'm not good enough to be a healer. And then you realize, well, instead of that, I want to believe that I'm perfectly qualified to do this. That there's people out there waiting for my work. It doesn't happen like that. It's not like you think the new thought and that's it. Part of me wants to say sadly, it's not that way, but it's all perfect actually. It does require practice, and that's the I think what often is not talked about, right? It's like, oh, you have negative beliefs. Well, change them, have positive beliefs. And we think it's just about repeating them over and over. And it isn't. There is a practice of that. There is compassion that is needed, and compassion is a practice. There is sobriety that is needed. Again, I'm not talking about substances, I'm talking about mental sobriety, and that's a discipline. That takes courage. There is needed this ability to be uncomfortable, and that's a practice. And so I've been practicing this for the last, 23 years consciously, through my work with my therapist, my coaches, my studies, my priestess training, through all of that. And that's what I help you do. That's what I help my clients and help my students, is the practice of it. Because it's great if you attend the class and you're super inspired, and then the next week you're like, my brain is back to the same place. And of course, just as with your clients, I can't do the work for you, but I can offer the practices. And so today, the first part of this is, when we go into our meditation, you're going to ask your soul 2 questions. And one, they're all connected to your legacy of love this year, but it's going to be like very specific about some clarity around your legacy of love creation this year, and clarity on what's the belief that's in the way. And if you want to learn more, like, listen, if this is something that you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need to practice. I know how to, I need to know how to practice this. I need to have a deeper conversation about this. You might want to join the retreat. It's going to be recorded if you can't attend live, but it's going to be just this really amazing time to be with our brain and our heart and with Mother Mary and all the ascended masters. And in fact, I want to talk about that a little bit because I have a feeling some ascended masters are going to show up in the meditation. Why are the ascended masters important to our work with belief? First of all, if you think about Mother Mary or Ascended Master Jesus or Kuan Yin or Green Tara or Buddha or whomever you feel connected to, they are the epitome of sobriety, right? They don't have any thoughts that are not aligned, right? They're us without all the trauma and wounding and disbelief, right? So when you're in their presence, you're in the presence of pristine resonance of unconditional love. You're in the presence of a beautiful divine mirror of who you really are. And so surrounding yourself in these divine beings is one of the most important things. That's why I'm always invoking them. And that's why they show up when we have gatherings like this, because they're devoted to humanity. The ascended masters that a lot of us work with or connect with, were humans at some point. They lived a human life. They understand how it is to practice remembering that we're divine beings, that we're one with source, but also have a human ego and forget and doubt it and all of that and feel insecurities and feel self-judgment. They understand and they have so much compassion. So if you have any sort of beliefs about like, well, Mother Mary's too busy to be with me, or there's so many other things to worry about in the world, I don't want to bother her, or oh no, I need to wait till I'm more perfect and I pray more before I connect with her, or any ascended master, please know that's just a belief. That is not true. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into our meditation space, and then I'll pull some cards. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And you don't have to close your eyes. If it's easier for you to stay focused on something, or even focused on me, or focus on a candle in front of you, you can do that. But whatever helps you go within. Going within your heart, right? Going within to that temple where your soul resides. And taking a moment to feel the earth, like feel your roots going down your legs, at the bottoms of your feet, deep into the earth. So we're all very grounded and present in this now moment, even as we take this journey. And if it helps you to bring your hands over your heart center, as I'm doing right now, you can. Like if you find that you're up here, just bring your hands to your heart center. That's where we're going, to your heart. And I invite you to visualize at your heart center a beautiful blooming rose. It's like a rose, a beautiful blooming rose. And I'm seeing a beautiful pink, like I guess like my top, like all these shades of pinks and lavender. So your rose might be a different color. That's okay. And this beautiful rose is spiraling, right? Gathering all this energy in your heart. And I invite you to just stay here a moment, like allow that opening to happen and train your physical body, right? Train your physical body to be that vessel that can sustain such an opening of your heart, right? The divine architecture of your body, right? You're a sacred vessel. And so we're practicing like, oh yeah, I'm a physical body, but I also have this powerful heart chakra, heart center that is beyond the physical body. And I can train and practice so that my body can sustain more and more and more and more light and expansion of my heart. So feel that. And as that happens, from your beautiful expanded heart projects this path of light in front of you, right? This golden path. And this is the golden path that represents 2023. This beautiful golden path. This is 2023. And this is your highest path. This is the path where you build on your legacy of love in the most profound, powerful way, in a way that blesses you and blesses the world. And if your brain starts to go, but like, how, what does it look like? That's okay. Just send it compassion. We're just focusing on the path right now. And see yourself now standing on the path. And as you stand on the path, we welcome these beautiful ascended masters, these divine beings that have nothing but unconditional love for you. And notice who shows up for you. I'm feeling, not surprising, beautiful Mother Mary, the high priestess that she is, not from this religious, dogmatic place, but Mother Mary in her truth, the ascended master, Mother Mary. And I'm just seeing her in her open arm mudra, right? Her arms open wide. And she's just standing there behind you and she's just beaming unconditional love. And if Mother Mary's not the one that you feel connected to in this moment, that's okay. Maybe you just visualize the Divine Mother or Kuan Yin or anybody, any other being. But you're feeling this unconditional love in your back, like this, like, oh my gosh, this unconditional love has my back this year. It always has. But you're opening in a deeper way to receive it, to notice it, to feel it. And as you let yourself feel that, then in front of you appears this like almost like a golden bubble of light floating, a few feet away from you. It's like golden swirly light. And it starts to gather into a shape, into a form. And it takes the form of you. It is your beautiful soul that is standing there right in front of you. And your soul is not bound by a physical body, but in this moment, she or he or they is showing up in sort of a physical shape. Like I envision that it looks like you, but maybe there's just like more glittery light. And so your soul is standing in front of you, Mother Mary or another ascended master divine being is standing behind you. And your soul is looking into your eyes, and you notice that your soul looks into your eyes with pure, unconditional love, looks into your eyes with compassion, and looks into your eyes with delight. She is so proud of you. She trusts you. She believes in you. And so you're asking, beautiful soul, reveal to me, what is a belief, a false belief, a faulty belief I have about myself that is blocking my legacy of love? Show me, what is a belief that doesn't serve me anymore? And remember, what are you asking? You're saying, what is a thought that I think about myself or my situation or my reality all the time, over and over, so much that you might not even notice it? It's just background noise. You're saying, soul, please show me, what is that thought? What is that belief? Bring it to my awareness now with gentleness and love. And of course, your soul is always loving, always gentle in its power. What is that belief? But know that your soul always answers you. But if in this moment you don't hear it, that's fine. It is, you're getting the answer in your heart, and it will be revealed at exactly the right time. Show me, what is that belief? So, one of the beliefs I heard was you're running out of time. I also heard you're falling behind. And I think some of these might be mine, but some of these might be also from the collective. So just notice, what is the belief that is blocking your legacy of love, that is creating unnecessary hardship? And as your soul reveals this to you, whether it's conscious or not conscious yet, she is also bringing this beam of light to help you already start to dislodge that belief. And so just let yourself breathe that in. And with great compassion, Mother Mary, your guardian angels are here. Perhaps even your enlightened ancestors are here. Notice if there's any part of you that's afraid to heal this belief. Maybe there's a part that feels so comfortable with this outdated belief that it's afraid to let it go. And that's okay. You're not going to fix anything right now. You're just noticing it with compassion, because that already starts the healing process. It's a very normal thing for us to have parts of us that are like, oh, what if we do let go of that belief? That's scary. I want to stay with that belief because it keeps me safe. Right? So that's normal to have. So just notice it. So your beautiful soul just walks a little closer to you and blesses your third eye and blesses your heart. And she says, or he says, or they say, nothing will be withheld from you. All support that you need will be provided if you let yourself receive it. And so, with that beautiful message, come back to your body. Feel that beautiful swirling rose in your heart. We ask your soul, your higher self, to integrate this journey, this healing on all four levels of your being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, across all dimensions of time. And we ask your soul to recalibrate, especially your heart chakra, to the right adjustments for everyday activity. Feel the earth under your feet as we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to each other and our own heart. And we end with a namaste. Namaste. So very gentle with yourself. Take some nice breaths. If you have your journal and there's anything you need to write down, do so. Remember, this is recorded, so you can always go back and watch it again, listen again, do the journey again. And if you want to share any of the beliefs that came, the first one underneath very quietly was like, yeah, you're running out nose. You're falling behind. That's been a belief I've had for so long, and I've worked with it very, very much. So it doesn't rule my day, but it can easily creep back. And so, if, oh, Jojo wrote, I'm dumb. Wow, thank you, Jojo, for sharing that. And it's so powerful to share it out loud because it loses its power, right? And we all have thoughts like that, right? I'm dumb, or I suck, or, why is this taking me so long, or why am I so slow, or whatever it is. Jill says her old belief was no one cares. Also, such a powerful belief. And so, thank you, Jojo. Thank you, Jill, for sharing that. And for everybody watching, it's like, oh, what is that thought? And the thing you do not want to do, if you find yourself judging yourself for the thought, for the belief, just have compassion for that part that's judging you and know that there's no judgment. Like every human being has those sentences running around in their head, right? And particularly if you're called to be a healer, that means you said yes to experiencing a whole bunch of things. So there's no judgment. Jill saying, it was my inner child saying that. Yes, thank you, Jill, for bringing that awareness. Claire saying, I'll fail. That's such a powerful one. I mean, think about that, right? Because the reason we uncover these beliefs is because they're getting in the way of us actually creating our legacy of love, the next level of it. And if the belief, like Claire said, is I'll fail, if it's in the background, I'll fail, think of all the ways that affects how we show up, the actions we take, the boundaries we set or we don't set, the things we say yes to or the things we say no to. And so thank you, Claire, for sharing that. It's such a common one. Zoe says, I had a few. I'll fail was one of them too. Yes, thank you. I know for me, it doesn't come out as loud now, but it can when I'm up leveling, is like, no one's gonna, what is it? Not no one's gonna believe me, but like, kind of like something along the lines like people are gonna be like, who is she? Like, who is she to say that? Like, why should we believe her? Like, who is she? What's her expertise? That used to come to me so much. Like, many of you have heard, even when I first started writing the second book about priestessing, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I went through all the beliefs. One, people are going to think I'm a nut. And then others where I thought, okay, I'm going to have actual priestesses show up to my YouTube live and be like, who is she to call herself a priest, like a priestess? Like what, how, she's not an expert. She's not. So I had all these beliefs, that I had to be with. And I think a very common thing is we're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the beliefs are because it's going to freak me out. But they're there. They're there. They're very, very powerful. And so again, next week on Friday, when I do my retreat, it's 2.5 hours virtual. We're going to really delve into this because now that you've uncovered them, it's like, well, what is a tool to use? I uncover them. And so this will be very practical, specific tools, but also ceremony, because I feel like that's the divine feminine and divine masculine together, right? That it's like, oh gosh, I have this belief. When I have this belief, how does that make me feel? When I feel that way, how do I act? Right? There's that, like there's a real important practice. And then there's the ceremonial aspect. Let's bring in your soul and these ascended masters and past life healing, because some of these beliefs, if not all, might come from past lives as well. It's not safe to be seen. That was a huge one for me when I first started this work. They're going to take my kids away. I'm going to, the church is going to come drag me out of my house. And I mean, I know that seems like really ridiculous. Like, but I literally had that. I had to like name it out loud because it was such a, like literally a gut punch in my stomach, this fear, like I'm going to lose my kids. Like if I talk about these things. And so, this is why we hang out together, right? To normalize this and know like, oh my gosh, yeah. And so if you're interested in the retreat, I will put the link in the comments. It's my lisaespinosa.net/2023 retreat. I will put the link there, but I would love to see you for that if that's something that you're interested in, because we are here to create a legacy of love. You are creating your legacy of love. Ooh, Roxana said, falling behind, ouch. Yes. Thank you, Roxana, for putting the ouch, because that is how these beliefs are. They hurt. They literally hurt us. And it's important to get very honest with ourselves and recognize, oh, I'm hurting myself. And again, there's no judgment, but we can heal that. Zoe saying, I share that one too, Lisa. Retreat sounds amazing. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Yes, that's a really big one, of the fear of being seen or fear of humiliation. So I'm going to put Angie saying, this year I want to leave a legacy, love legacy where I have a blockage. Just when stop talking to my dad or husband when they hurt me. Everyone wants love. Sometimes we want to change, powerful to accept them. Yes. At a block is when stop. Oh, God. Thank you, Angie, for sharing that. Yes. Yes. It is, and we didn't even get into like other people in our lives and how they can mirror our own disbelief in ourselves, and how they can trigger our disbelief in ourselves. And of course, there's people that can support it. So that's a really important conversation, Angie. Thank you for sharing that. And I will definitely touch on that at the retreat, because that's so important. Yes, Jill, I'm so glad that you're here and you're going to be in the retreat. And thank you everyone who's here. So I'm going to pull some cards. So I'm going to first start with cards for everyone. That's what I'm doing. Everyone who's watching this. I'm not going to have time to pull a card for every individual person, but I'm going to pull this card is for all of you here live, and everyone who's watching the replay. And I do want to say, if this resonates with you, sign up to my mailing list. My last year was a real amazing year, and there's been a lot of reorganization in my the structure of my business this year. And so I'm going to be sharing so many more resources through my mailing list. So if this is something that you're interested in, sign up, and you'll receive a sample chapter of my first book. And you'll receive lots of yes, definitely news on upcoming events, but also like bonuses to signing up early, and also like teachings and meditations and all sorts of things. I'll have the link for that as well. Hey, Macy, so glad you're here. Happy New Year. All right, this is the card for everyone. All right, what is the message? And this is the message about specifically what we talked about today, right? What is the priestess within you? What is her message about how to heal these negative beliefs, these outdated beliefs? Okay, that's going to be the question. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, 2 fell out, so we're just going to trust that. Oh my goodness. So first one, sacred breath and sound, life force, communication. So look at this gorgeous card. She's got a dolphin coming out of her hand. What? But remember what the question was, right? So for me, now this will mean you tune into your own heart about what this means, but I feel like this is really reminding us of the power of our breath. So one of the practices we'll learn in the retreat is, well, what do you do when that belief comes back? Because it's going to, because you've literally practiced it over and over and over. And to me, this is one of the real simple things, is like conscious breathing, right? Like, whew, I'm breathing as I notice this belief. Instead of pushing it away, instead of projecting, instead of like overcoming it, I don't want to feel it, I don't want to feel it, so let me go do something else, or let me blame someone else. There's a real power in the breath. And of course, dolphin is all about joy. So I really feel like it's also like being lighthearted about all of this. And so let's see the other card. Oh my gosh. I love this card. Summoning power, instinct, intellect, control. Look at this. What an amazing pair of cards. So I feel like this card is so like, the practice of summoning is a priestess practice. So it's like, I summon my true belief in myself. Yes, I notice all these disbeliefs because of the trauma I've experienced and all of that. And I have so much compassion. And in this moment, I summon the true belief that my soul has for me and that I have for myself. So there's something about that summoning. All right, so I'm so excited. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Write your comments, share your thoughts on this, spread the word. If there's anyone you know who you think will really resonate with these teachings, I would love them to join in. And I would love to see you at the retreat. If this calls to you, we're going to really break it down, especially about your legacy of love through your career and your creative expression. All right, bye, everyone. Talk to you next week. Thanks, everyone.